All right, thanks, guys. The Knicks take on the Hornets, 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off in Charlotte. The Hornets open the betting as the 11-point favorite, and the total at 225.5. And since those markets opened this one up, we're seeing a little bit of movement on the spread. Actually, a half a point fade of Charlotte in the early going here. Not a whole lot of movement on the total. Right now, Charlotte's minus 10.5 with the total remaining at 225 and a hook. So once again, the Hornets opened 11 down to 10.5. Total open and remains at 225 and a hook. 58% of the consensus is leaning toward Charlotte. 60% of the consensus is shaded toward the under. And at the moment, the Knicks are plus 475 for some money line cash. Now, the Knicks are giving up 116 points per contest on the road. They also lost 4 out of their last 5 straight up away from home. The Knicks are 0-5 against the spread in their last 5 ball games, 0-3 against the spread in their last 3 on the road, and they're covering just 42% of their ball games as the official road underdog. Now, Charlotte on the other side, one of the better covering teams in the association. They're 16-11 against the spread overall for the year. They're also 10-5 straight up in their games on their home court. The Charlotte offense is putting up 116 points per contest at home. They're also 6-2 straight up in their last 8 on their home court, and they're 5-0 straight up at home, taking on the Knicks if you're into historical trends. Now, scoring-wise, both teams are 3-1 to the over in their last 4 games respectively. So with all that said and done, I'm going to purchase the hook, buy it down, and take the Hornets minus 10 in the over 225.5 in this one. Next game, Atlanta at Boston, 7 o'clock tip-off in Beantown. The Celtics open the betting as the 12.5 point favorite, and the total at 224 and a hook. Since those markets opened this one up, not a whole lot of movement on the spread, although we've seen movement downward on the total there. That total moved down to 222. So once again, the Celtics opened and remain minus 12.5. Total open 224 and a hook, down to 222 even. 68% are leaning Boston, 59% shaded toward the under. And at the moment, the Hawks are plus 750 for some money line cash. Now, if you think the Hawks are going to keep it close and get the job done, keep in mind they are 6-3 against the spread in their last 9 away from home. They're also 2-0 against the spread in their last couple of games. And believe it or not, as bad as Atlanta has been, they're 7-7 against the spread in their games on the road this season. They're also covering 50% of their games as the official road underdog. Now, Boston, they got some guys banged up. Al Horford's out. Hayward is questionable. Brown is questionable. Both of those gentlemen questionable with an illness. This Boston offense is also putting up just 105 points per contest on average in their last 10 meetings with Atlanta, so really not playing Atlanta all that well over the past couple of seasons. Now, scoring-wise, Atlanta 6-3 to the under in their last 9 on the road. Meanwhile, on the other side, this Boston defense is allowing just 100 points per contest at the Garden. So with all that said and done, I'm going to purchase the half a point, buy it up, and take Atlanta plus 13 in the under 222 in that one. Next game, Bucks, Cavaliers, 7:30 tip-off in Cleveland. The Bucks open the betting as the 10-point favorite, total at 218.5. And since those markets opened this one up, no real surprises here as Milwaukee took a little bit of that early money. We're also seeing a half a point move downward on the total as well. Right now, Milwaukee's minus 10.5 with the total moving downward to 218. So once again, the Bucks open minus 10 up to minus 10.5. Total open 218.5 down to 218 even. 55% are leaning Milwaukee, 57% shaded toward the over. And at the moment, the Cavs are plus 455 for some money line cash. Now, the Cavs have been horrible this year. They're 7-21 straight up overall. They're just 6-19 straight up as the official Vegas underdog. They're also covering just 40% of their ball games, taking on winning teams. Meanwhile, on the other side, this Milwaukee offense is putting up 118 points per contest. They're shooting 48% from the field. They're also 14-8 straight up when favored and 3-2 against the spread in their last 5 ball games. Now, scoring-wise, Milwaukee's 4-1 to the over in their last 5, taking on Cleveland. Meanwhile, on the Cleveland side of things, they're 4-1 to the over at home in their last 5 themselves. So with all that said and done, I'm going to purchase the half a point, slide it down, and take Milwaukee minus 10 in the over 218 in that one. Next game, Pacers, Sixers. 7:30 tip-off in South Philly. The Sixers open the betting as the 4.5-point favorite, total 216.5. Since those markets opened this one up, not a whole lot of movement on the spread, although we did see significant movement toward the over on the total. Right now, that total's up to 219. So once again, Philly opened -4.5. They remain -4.5. Total open 216 and a hook, up to 219 even. 58% of the consensus is leaning toward Philly. 61% of the consensus is now on the under. And at the moment, the Pacers are +165 for some money line cash. Now, Philadelphia, 19-10 straight up overall. Very sneaky good this season. They quietly have gone 19-10 straight up overall for the season. They're also 6-2 straight up in their last 8. Meanwhile, on the Indiana side of things, they're scoring just 106 points per contest. They're also 6-8 against the spread in their games away from home. Now, the Pacers are 8-0 to the under in their last 8 ball games, so I don't expect a whole lot of scoring in this one. Give me Philadelphia -4 after buying the hook in the under 219 in that one. Next game, Wizards, Nets, 7:30 Brooklyn. The Nets open the betting as the 1.5-point favorite, total at 227.5. And since those markets opened this one up, not a whole lot of movement on the spread, although we did see significant movement downward on the total. Right now, that total has dipped down to 225 and a hook. So once again, Brooklyn opened and remains the 1.5-point favorite. Total opened 227.5 down to 225 and a hook. 56% are leaning Brooklyn, 55% shaded toward the over. And at the moment, the Wizards are plus $1.13 for some money line cash. Now, this Brooklyn offense, they've been pretty good this season. They're scoring 114 points per contest on their home court. They've also successfully covered the number in 4 out of their last 5 games. Brooklyn is winning 75% of their games straight up as the favorite. So whenever they're favored, they're winning 75% of their ball games outright. They're also 3-0 straight up in their last trio of games as well. Meanwhile, on the other side, completely different story as Washington is giving up 120 points per contest on the road. They're also just 4-11 straight up in their games away from home as well. Washington just 11-17 against the spread overall. They're covering just 26% of their games on the road. They're also covering just 26% of their games when catching the points. Now, total-wise, Washington 3-1 to the over in their last 4. Brooklyn 4-2 to the over in their last 6 at home, taking on the Wizards. So with all that said and done, I'm going to purchase the hook, slide it down, and take Brooklyn -1 in the over 225.5 in that one. Next game, Heat Grizzlies, 8 o'clock Eastern tip-off in Memphis. The Grizz open 5.5, total 203.5. And since those markets opened this one up, we're seeing a steady fade of Memphis in the early going here. We're also seeing significant movement downward on the total. Actually, a 7.5-point move downward on the total. We're looking at a total of 196 right now, with Memphis moving down to -4.5. So once again, the Grizzlies open 5.5 down to 4.5. Total open 203 and a hook, down to 196 even. 66% are leaning Memphis, 51% shaded toward the over. And at the moment, the Heat are plus 167 for some money line cash. Now, Miami has successfully covered the number in 3 out of their last 4. They're also 7-3 against the spread in their last 10. The Heat are 8-5 against the spread on the road. They're also covering 71% of their games that tipped off at the current number. Now, Memphis on the other side, they failed to cover in 2 out of their last 3. They're also just 4-6 straight up in their last 10 ball games. This Memphis offense is putting up just 102 points per contest. They're also just 2-4 straight up in their last 6, taking on Miami. Now, scoring-wise, Miami's scoring 109 points per game on the road. Their defense is also allowing 109 points per game on the road. So with all that said and done, I'm going to purchase the hook, buy it up, and take Miami plus 5 in the over 196 in that one. Next game, Raptors, Blazers, 10 o'clock tip-off in Portland. The Raptors open the betting as the 3-point favorite, and the total at 216. And since those markets opened this one up, not a whole lot of movement on the total, although Toronto is taking significant money in the early going here. They're now -4. So once again, the Raptors open -3 up to -4. Total open and remains at 216. 55% are leaning Toronto, 71% shaded toward the over. And at the moment, the Trailblazers are plus 160 for some money line cash. Now, if you like the Blazers to get the job done at home, they are 6-3 ATS on their home court this season, 7-2 straight up in their last 9 at home. This Portland defense is allowing just 106 points per contest. Their opponents are also shooting just 43% from the field. Meanwhile, on the Toronto side of things, they failed to cover in 2 out of their last 4. They also failed to cover in 5 out of their last 8. So with all that said and done, I'm going to lean toward the home dog in this one. Give me Portland +4 and the over 216 in that one. Next game, Warriors-Kings, 10 o'clock tip-off in Sacramento. Golden State opened 8, down to 7.5. Total opened 236.5, down to 235 and a hook. 66% are leaning Golden State, 51% shaded toward the under. And at the moment, the Kings are +275 for an outright win. Now, the Sacramento offense is putting up 115 points per contest. They're also 18-9 against the spread overall for the year. Golden State, on the other side, is allowing 111 points per contest away from home. They're also just 6-8 against the spread on the road. So with all that said and done, I'm going to purchase the hook, buy it up, and take Sacramento +8 and the under 235.5 in that one. All right, next and final game for the show. It is going to be Thunder Nuggets, 10:30 Denver. OKC opened 2, down to 1.5. Total opened 216.5, up to 218 and a hook. Denver's 18-9 straight up overall for the year, 16-11 against the spread. They're also 10-3 straight up on their home court and covering 71% of their games when catching the points. Meanwhile, on the other side, OKC 9-4 to the under on the road. Denver 5-2 to the under in their last 7, taking on the Thunder. So with all that said and done, I'm going to purchase the hook, buy it up, and take Denver +2 and the under 218.5 in that one.